Oh man, Alien Romulus, what have you done? You've brought back the marshmallow newborn engineer hybrid, you've brought back the black goo, you've also made the Xenomorph a side quest type villain. Weyland Yutani is the main villain again, and of course androids play a major part in this film, and there's so many inconsistencies. I did not like this film. I did not like this film at all. However, are there good parts to this film? Yes, there are lots of elements that I did like. But look, this is spoilers, everybody. I'm going to talk about what I didn't like about this film. So if you haven't seen it, I would probably advise you don't listen to this. If you have, let's talk about this disappointment, okay? I think they've mistaken Alien fans here. We want to see more Xenomorph. Okay, we want to see the film revolve around the Xenomorph, respect the Xenomorph, and actually make this creature scary, intelligent, something to behold. It's the perfect organism, right? That's what they've sort of made it. And that's what they keep saying it is. Yeah, it's not very clever. It's kind of just ferocious, but it just gets defeated so easy. I'm like, one should be scary enough. But now in this film, we've got hundreds of them, and they're just so easy to kill. Like, come on, one pulse rifle and a woman that's not even essentially a marine can just kill them all. Like, I don't know, man. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it felt like a game. It also felt like, I've seen that this quote before, but these people look too clean, man. Like, they look too young, too inexperienced, and like they wouldn't handle this situation. Like, there's no rough edges. They look too good, basically, to be up in space, to have worked the mines, to be in this situation of absolute impending doom from a ship that's going to be crashing down. There's a Xenomorph coming on. There's a pregnant woman. There's people being infected with these face huggers. There's all this going on, and yet somehow these like 21-year-olds are just cool, calm, collected, still looking really good. No one's in a bad way. I don't know, it was all too crisp. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. And I think they think we want to see some slasher film. We don't want to see that, right? And that is what we got. We got inconsistencies, mad inconsistencies from the Xenomorph, which looked great, by the way, but it just grew inside, what, 1 second? The fucking thing was huge. Like, I don't know, right? I don't know, where is this film going? Where are they going with this franchise? Because I know there's never been a consistent sort of length of time where the alien grows, but at least in the original it took some time. It was running around as a little alien. These things just seem to grow rapidly, yeah, like so quickly. And then in this one, that even, like, I don't know if you saw it, fled its skin, and I'll be honest, the skin was not big at all. Then all of a sudden, right next to it, it's in a cocoon, and that's weird. I've not seen that before, but correct me, I could be totally wrong. And then it comes out of that cocoon, and it's a huge, like, what, 8 foot tall Xenomorph. I'm like, come on, man. And also the guy pretty much killed it. There was acid blood coming out when he was like electrocuting it. So I thought that alien was dead, but it didn't appear to be even injured. So these are the sort of inconsistencies that I don't really like. Like, what's going on there? Why is the alien so quick to grow? Then you've got the face huggers, which I always thought died when they impregnated you, but no, not on this one. This one was able to impregnate the person and then scurry off and run away. I'm like, that makes no sense. That means one facehugger could impregnate loads of people. I've not seen that before. Again, I may not be the super fan I think I am, so whatever. I just didn't like that either. I didn't like the fact that the facehuggers see you via like heat. Yeah, so what is that about? Okay, fair enough. Let's go with that. So they see you by heat. So in this room, they put the heat up so that they can walk through it. Clever in theory, but no. When you open that door, that room's going to cool down massively and you're still going to stand out like a sore thumb. And they didn't. And it makes no sense. Like, makes no sense at all, really. I didn't like that. I didn't like that plot intro. I liked the plot armor for the characters. That was interesting. So pulse rifles have auto aim all of a sudden. Okay, cool. Makes sense. It gives you a reason to have the girl range shooting up the aliens, the Xenomorph, and killing them all. That makes sense. I get it. But then what doesn't make sense is a particular scene where they're running up there, like climbing up an elevator shaft when there's a gravity, where there's no gravity in the ship, and all of a sudden the gravity turns back on and Rain is falling to her death, yeah? But some reason, a Xenomorph decides to catch her from falling from her death. Like, what sort of plot armor is that? Like, a Xenomorph, why would it do that? Why would it catch her? It makes no sense why it would do that. Like, it would catch her to kill her? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Made no sense to me. That's another inconsistency that I hated. And then they introed Rook, who, by the way, really good character in this. The android was good character, but the CGI, man, if you're going to introduce a legacy character, at least make it look good, or get a real actor with a mask on or something. This CGI looked terrible, and it really took me out, because all the props and everything were good in this film, so credit to the film for that. But this was poor here. Didn't enjoy that at all. In fact, kind of ruined it for me. Like, this CGI character who essentially plays a massive part in this film, and I'm just like, it just looks crap. And then let's touch again on the Xenomorph, right? At no point was I ever scared. At no point was the Xenomorph ever the real threat, if I'm honest. Like, it kind of just, I don't know, the best way to describe it is it kind of was there in all the scenes, smiling. It had this like amazing smile, like teeth from turkey, basically. Yeah, and it was just smiling. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like some weird horror film where in all the photos, you look in the photos and like there's that like crazy woman in the back of them, like smiling, the ghost or whatever, but you don't see it in real life. That's what these aliens were like. And I don't know, it didn't really suit, and it went from one Xenomorph to, they went over to the other side of the ship in Romulus, and then all of a sudden there's a hive and there's loads of aliens. Okay, kind of makes sense, but those aliens surely would have figured out a way of, you know, basically making the whole ship their hive. I don't know, but that's just me, right? I'm just thinking a little bit outside the box, like, why are they just in that side? Like, come on, the aliens would have found a way. Now, we've also got the black goo. Why? Now, first and foremost, anybody that knows anything about this series knows that the black goo went down like a lead balloon. No fan liked the black goo. Now, why intro it? I get it, you're going to try and explain it off, but it just brings me out of this film, takes me all the way back to what I didn't like about Prometheus and the inconsistencies with it, with that black goo. And I hated it. I absolutely hated that. And of course, what it leads to at the end is an absolute abomination. Like, I'm sorry. This film was okay at best. Yeah, it was okay. It was going quite well. And then I think the third act, we're now introduced to all the aliens, and then we get the bloody marshmallow engineer newborn. Like, what the hell is that? I enjoyed how it was born. That was horrific. But sorry, it was born a cocoon that had acid, and then it was burning through the ship, and then it stopped burning through the ship. Don't know why, it just happened to. And then all of a sudden, this baby thing comes out and then turns into an engineer hybrid Xenomorph human. I don't know what that was, but it looked like shit. Yeah, it looked terrible. I'm like, what? Is this meant to be a Xenomorph film or what? Like, Alien Romulus, man, this sucks. Like, what are you doing here? This creature looked rubbish. And of course, how does it die? Yeah, the airlock, essentially, again, gets sucked out the airlock, or another form of that. And I just didn't like that, man. I thought it was rubbish. Like, that did not really end well for me. Like, actually ended terribly. I hated that. And other things that I hated was this particular scene where the gravity goes again, and Rain is able to shoot all the Xenomorph. Again, I'm okay with that, but the plasma rifle was running out of energy, ammunition, okay? And it just went on forever. Like, in 1 second it went down to 2 bars, 20%. Like, it was only going for about 2 seconds. So realistically, you might have 6 seconds of shooting, but nah, this thing just kept going and going and going and going and going. And then it basically ran out. And then Andy uses it, he's the android, uses it to kill the alien that had caught Rain in the elevator shaft, that saved her life, but then wanted to kill her, but didn't want to kill her. I don't know what was going on there. Plot armor, thank you very much. And then Andy kills Andy, who's been pretty useless, by the way, ends up killing this alien, and then classic line, "Get away from her, you bitch." And just a few people laughed in the cinema, but I didn't like it. I thought, nah, that's cheap, that's tacky, man. Didn't enjoy that, didn't like that clawback. There's lots of things I didn't like. And look, are there some good things about this film? Yes, there are. Visuals are good, the plot is quite interesting. I like the Andy Rain dynamic, that was really good, actually a really fun part, and I will watch this film again, and I'll probably enjoy it more in the second time because I'll be less sort of eager and my expectations will be lower. But this film had visuals that were quite spectacular, actually. Considering this was meant to go straight to streaming, no, this was way up there for me in terms of all the CGI bar the rook stuff was fantastic. Like, I have to say, for the budget and everything, 10/10, really good. The special effects in terms of the props, really good. The face huggers, I could kind of see were like on it, they were like you could see there was a motor in a couple of them, which kind of sounded like, looked a bit crap, but I much prefer that to CGI, man. Much prefer that. Overall, this film didn't do it for me. I was extremely disappointed, and there's so much more that I could go into, and I just don't want to. I mean, the inconsistencies are mad, i.e. there's a character who dies in a really awful way, actually, but early on in the film they make a big thing of it. Is he tries to grab a battery from like the battery room, I guess, from the cryo room it is, actually, and he tries to grab this battery and he freezes his finger, like freezes up, and you assume that his hand is going to be broken or I don't know, somewhat going to fall off or something like this. You don't really know what's going on. Nah, nothing. Next minute he's actually like trying to open a door with his hands, and then the next minute the Xenomorph's melting his hands off with acid blood, and it's like that never happened. So I don't really understand why that happened. There's a few things in this film where I'm like, I don't get it. I also hate the fact that we know which characters were going to die based on the advert. Like, come on. Like, the woman where the chest burster is inside her, and you see it with the radiation, the x-ray. I'm like, what's going on here? Like I don't know, that should be like a really cool scene that you should have to pay to see. Like, I don't know, it takes it out of the film for me. That wasn't great. And then you have other things where I don't know, I just didn't like all the inconsistency of this film, from the bending of the rules, the Weyland-Yutani being essentially the main villain again, the black goo, just really disappointed. And it started so well for me. It did. It started off really well. Nice and slow. Good build-up. That's what I like in a film. They built up the characters somewhat. They were believable. Like, I believed that they worked. They didn't look like visually like they did. But I get why you'd want to leave that planet. I get why you'd want to get your utopia, I suppose. I understand the challenge that... What I didn't understand is how the pregnant woman would have survived, because... surely she would have still given birth in this cryopod, and that would have led to the baby dying. So, look, I don't know, that is a really inconsistent thing that I've literally just thought of on the spot here, but that made no sense. How are they going to do that then? Or would the cryopod keep them alive? I don't know. So, look, inconsistencies, the cocoon, I've never seen that before. I'm just so ruined with that marshmallow thing at the end, and the way the Xenomorphs all died. They essentially were no threat at all, to be honest, the Xenomorph, and it really did play like a game. Every stage was a new level, and it was like, we need to find the key. Oh, you've walked into the alien nest. Oh, you've found Rook on the floor. Plug him in to see what he's got to say. He was like an NPC character. Hello, what do you need to know? Like, I don't know, like the shop that you'd go to go and buy like weapons and that. That's kind of what he was. I did enjoy his character. It was good, but that CGI, man. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Anyway, look, this is just massive. This is more of a rant. Yeah, this isn't a review, actually. This is just a rant. And there's so much more to rant about, and I just don't want to be so negative. But these are the things I didn't like. Would I watch this film again? Yes. Do I think people are going to enjoy it? Yes. Is it a good addition to the Alien franchise? No, not for me. So look, it comes in... I actually preferred Prometheus. This comes in like after Prometheus. We're talking 5th spot, man. Damn, man. Until next time, peace out.